Okay, so in this question, the bearing question, yeah? So your question is to clarify, okay, to find the bearing. Okay, to find the bearing of D from B. So first of all, look for the point D, which is here, and the point B, which is here. And you have already drawn a line to join these 2 points, which is good. And now it says find the bearing from B. That means B is our reference point. That means we shall put our compass on B. Okay, that means this is the north. All right, so we have to count our bearing from the north. Okay, therefore from the north we have to touch the line that we just drawn. So this is the value that we need to find. So the bearing, okay, so it's always from the north clockwise until you touch the line that you draw to join the 2 points that you want to find. Okay, so over here we have the bearing of B from A. That means from A, your compass will be on A, and then you join A to B, and therefore from the north at the A, you measure up to the line that you join to the B. So this is how you mark your 140 here. And then C is due east of B. That means this is at the east side lah. This is at the east. And then what else? AB is 400, BC is 350, CD is 450. So we need to find the value of this. So how do we find? Now we know that this is 140, and then that means, okay, that means for, we know that this is parallel. So when it is parallel, the line that join them, it will form the interior angle. Okay, that means if we know that this side is 140, therefore this side will be 40. Okay, 40 degree. Huh? And then what else? We need to find this angle here. Okay, so that we can find this using the triangle, or this one can be the north. All right, so again we will have the alternate angle here. So we can find this angle. So this is the bearing that we want to find, and let's call it x. Therefore this is also x because of the characteristic of the parallel lines and the angle formed between the two parallel lines. So what do we have over here is right angle triangle, is it? Because D is due north of C. That means it's 90 degree here. Okay, so we have a right angle triangle. So let's find the angle X. So for the angle X, this side is the adjacent and this side will be the opposite. Okay, the one that is opposite the 90 degree is always the hypotenuse, but we're not interested in hypotenuse now. We have A, we have O, we just need to find the angle X. So according to SOHCAHTOA, the one that involve O and A is tangent. That means tangent X equals to the opposite, which is 350, over the adjacent, which is 450. Therefore, to find X, we just need to find the arctangent of 350 over 450. So let's find it. Okay, so over here, 350 divided by 450, and then we find the arctangent of this answer, shift tangent of our final answer. So 37 point, oops, what's the value? 0.9 degree. One decimal place will do. Okay, therefore the bearing D from B will be 37.9 degree. That's all. Okay. All right, you got the answer actually. So what makes you confused here? No. Okay, now I get you. It's not a, I won't say that there is a fixed formula that you add 180 degree or you don't add 180 degree. It all depends on calculating from our reference point, from its north, until we touch the line that connects the 2 points. And that will be our bearings. Okay, so solve this part. Let's move on to this. So for this question, you want to ask about this one, right? Okay, how do we find from the diagram, estimate the upper quartile. Now the upper quartile basically is Q4. So we have a set of data which we divide it into 2 equal parts. The median will be right in the middle. And then for the first half, if we divide into half again, then we will have the first quartile. And then the second half, we divide into half again. So we will have the fourth quartile, okay? Or we call it upper quartile. This is the lower quartile. And this is the upper quartile. And by the word of quartile, it is like come from the word quadrant. So that means the first 1/4, and then the last 1/4, that means it's 3/4. Okay, 3/4 of what? Of your total data. That means from your frequency, total frequency, okay? Your cumulative frequency. And your cumulative frequency basically is the value shown on the y-axis. So the maximum that we have, look at the last y value is 200. That means your total F is 200. Therefore, if we want to find the upper quartile, therefore we just need to half, which is the median. And then for the second half from 100 to 200, half of it will be 150, which is here. This is our third quartile, all right? And therefore, just draw the line on the graph paper. And from here, find what is the corresponding X value. So in this case, it's right here. So 40 to 50, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So each grid is 2, 42, 4, 6, and between 6 and 8, so 7, 47 here. Therefore, to estimate after is estimate not accurate, so the answer is 47 kilometer per hour. Okay? Or you can just use 3/4 out of 200. So we are actually looking at 150, our F. We're looking at 150. So 150 is over here. Okay. And then we look for the corresponding x-axis value, which is the V. Now the number of cars is the cumulative frequency with a speed greater than 35 kilometers per hour. So where's 35? 35 is here. Okay, so let's draw 35. So exactly 35 is 40 cars. 40 cars. That means less than 35 kilometers per hour is because it's 40 cars. Why? Because this OGIF, this graph is called OGIF. It's actually, there is another name, we call it graph less than. That means the number of cars that drive less than 35 is 40. So what do we want? We want greater than. If less than 45 is 40, and greater than must be the remaining from the up to the 200. Therefore, we just need to take 200 minus the 40. So there you go. Our answer is 160. Okay. Now, 2 of the 200 cars are chosen at random. So this is probability. Find the probability that they both have a good, have a speed greater than 50 kilometers per hour. So let's look for greater 50 kilometers per hour, which is this, okay, over here. So let's look at the number that drive greater than 50 kilometer per hour. Remember, the number of car drive less than 50 kilometer per hour is 100 and 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this one will be 170 is here. Estimate, so let it be the second line. This is 20. And ours is 2 out of 5. 4, 8. So 168 here. 168. So the number of cars that drive less than 50 is 168. That means the one that drive more than the number that is more than 50 kilometer per hour, we need to take the one, okay, that minus the 168. Why? Or give is the graph less than. Whatever value that is shown in the cumulative frequency is the value that is less than the x value. Okay, so minus 168, so we will have 20, 30, 32. 32, okay? Therefore, to find the probability, 2 cars chose at random. The first car, okay, more than 50, followed by, that means one after another, so you multiply. The second car also greater than 50 kilometer per hour. Therefore, how do we find this? The one that is greater, only 32 cars, drive greater 32, greater than 50 kilometer per hour out of 200. After you have chosen one, so left with 31 cars out of 199. So by using this, okay, put into the calculator, we should be able to get the value. All right, so we have 32 over 200, okay, and then multiply by 31 over 199. So the probability will be 124 over 4975. 4975. So this is the answer. Okay, so done with this part, right? Okay, done with this. So next, this one, part D, a solid cylinder. So we have a cylinder that has the radius of x and the height of 7x over 2. Okay, everything is in cm. The surface area of a sphere, so we've got another sphere, okay, with radius r, is equal to the total surface area of the cylinder. Okay, total surface area of sphere is the same as total surface area of our cylinder. Okay, so we have to express r and make the r the subject. So now, in the question, it already mentioned that the total surface area of sphere is equal. So equal. See, I translate the word into the mathematical statement. Now I replace the mathematical symbol into the with this formula. So how do I find the total surface area for sphere in the first place? That is 4 pi r squared. So 4 pi, just that our r is capital R, so r squared equals to the total surface area of the cylinder. This one we need to find on our own. That is consists of 2 circles. Therefore, the area of 2 circles will be 2 pi r squared, whereby the r is x. And then we have to find the curved surface area. The curved surface area will be 2 pi r, which is x, times with its h. In this case, it is 4x over 2. Okay, therefore let's simplify this. Okay, we have 2 pi x squared plus this one, multiply numbers with number, variable with variable. So we have 7 pi x squared. Okay, so isn't it this one is like term? They are the same. So it's like 2 bags plus 7 bags. Altogether we have 9 bags. 7 pi x squared. So 4 pi r squared equals to 9 pi x squared. Our objective is to make r the subject. That means we want to isolate the r. The rest, which is not relevant, should be brought towards the other side of the equation. In this case, r squared equals to 9 pi x squared over 4 pi. Do you notice that the pi and the pi can be cancelled off? So we will have 9 over 4 x squared. That is for r squared. Now, next we need to find r. Now, since r is the measurement of the radius, so it shouldn't contain any negative value. Even though I think I mentioned before, if we bring our own square across to the other side of the equation, we have to put plus minus in front of our square root. But in this case, we know that radius can never be negative, so we can just ignore that negative answer. So straight away, we square root 9 over 4 x squared, which give us 3 over 2x. So we already found r in terms of x. Okay? Now, next, this part, the part 2. Okay, let's see the graph, and this, they intersect at A and B. So we need to find the length of AB. So we got to find the coordinates of A and B first. Okay, so they intersect. When they intersect, that means at A and B, their x and their y is equivalent. So let's call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. So equation 1 equals to equation 2, whereby x minus 1 squared equals to half x plus 1. So let's expand this. Okay, so we have x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to half x plus 1. Shall we multiply 2 on both sides so that we get rid of the fraction mode? So we will have 2x squared minus 4x plus 2 equals to x plus 2. And let's group them together so that we can form ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0 in order for us to solve the quadratic equation. So we have 2x squared minus x bring over here. So now all in all, we have negative 5x, and then plus 2 minus 2, no more. Therefore, we can factorize the x, left with 2x minus 5 equals to 0. Therefore, x is either equals to 0 or x equals to 5 over 2. Okay, and next we have to find our y coordinate. Therefore, from equation from equation 1, the y will equals to the x minus 1 square or another x minus 1 square. So what is the x? 0 here. And what is the x here? 5 over 2. So over here we have negative 1. After we square it, we got 1. Or this part 5 over 2, when we minus 1 over 2, it will be 3 over 2. Therefore, y equals to 9 over 4. Okay? All right. Therefore, the solution will be, the coordinates are 0 and 1. Okay? And another one is 5 over 2, 9 over 4. So let this be A and let this be B. This is my coordinates A and coordinates B. And next, our task is to find the length of AB. So we use the formula, okay? x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay, preferably you memorize this formula to find the length of 2 points given the coordinates of that 2 points. So let's put them in. Now I would Okay, take 0 minus 5 over 2, we square it, plus 1 minus 9 over 4, and then we square this part, then square root. You can use calculator to calculate this and straight away give the answer. Okay, let's just get the calculator. All right, so we have bracket, oops, sorry, wait, bracket negative 5 over 2. All right, and we got to square this part, plus 1 minus 9 over 4. Okay, and close bracket and square this part. And let's see, what do we have? 125 over 16. And then that is inside here. Now we need to square root the answer, which give us 5 over 4 of square root of 5. That's it. Oh, we change it. We change it to decimal number. Decimal number 2.795. 2.795 units. That's it. Okay, this is how we find the distance between 2 points. First, we got to find the coordinates. Now let's check. That means this one not so accurate. Now when you need to sketch 2 points, I think we expect to see the correct y-intercept as well as the x-intercept. So it passes through 1 over here. And then this one is negative 2. Okay, great. All right, straight line using ruler, please. And then this one, if I expand this, I will have x squared minus 2x plus 1. So your y-intercept is also 1. So your curve, right, should be like this, passing through 1. Okay, right? The straight line is fine, just that your curve, the quadratic graph, you have to make sure that it passes through the right y-intercept. So remember to sketch the graph, make sure your y-intercept is correctly plotted as well as your x-intercept. Okay, how? At y-intercept, just substitute x equals to 0. And to find the x-intercept, you just substitute y equals to 0. That's all. Okay, so be careful, your sketching is not accurate here. All right, I think that's all for the explanation. Anything, you just send WhatsApp and ask me one more time. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.